Okay, I got ourselves set up here. We're recording, Chase, and we're going live to Facebook. So very cool. Good stuff. Okay, Chase, you all ready to go?
I'm ready.
All right. You were born ready, standing up and fighting back, right?
That's right.
I love it. All right. So Chase Ames, uh, St. George, Utah.
We're in St. George, Utah. Yep, we're about 2 hours north of Las Vegas.
Right, the 2 hours from Las Vegas.
Huh?
So fantastic. Well, I wanted to welcome you today. I appreciate you coming out, sharing some different things and things that you're doing in the company with your dad. I hope he's doing well and feeling good.
He's good. Yes, he's leaning a bit towards retirement. So I've got some big shoes to fill, but it's exciting and it's fun. And there's honestly never been more opportunity in real estate than right now. So it's all smiles.
It's very, very, very exciting stuff. Good, fantastic. So Chase, why don't you give us just a little Reader's Digest version of you, where you work, what your business kind of model looks like, etc.
Okay. So yeah, we're in Southern Utah. Last year, our team did 453 closings, and we are a listing-oriented team, and we do have about 13 buyers agents on our team. So we do a bit of everything. Myself and John, we take listings and listings only. We don't ever work with buyers. We'll always refer our buyers off to our buyers agent team members. And last year, with our 453 closings, we did a little over $3.3 million in commission to us. That was not to our agents, but to the Ames owners. So about 3.3 million there. And a little over 2 million of that actually came from our buyers agents, and about 1.3 came from John and I taking and closing about 135 listings.
So together you guys closed 135 listings?
Yep.
Got it. And so where does your business, your 135 transactions come from?
I mean, it's prospecting. It's coming from just listed, just sold right now in this market. Circle prospecting is huge. Door knocking on the neighbors, 5 on each side of the home, plus the 10 across the street, either for one of our listings or one of the deals our buyers just pended. Those are huge right now because there's non-expireds. FSBOs can be tough depending on which marketplace you're in. And we're leaning more so on our past clients and our sphere, our database right now, more so than we ever have. And it's never been as important as it is right now. You've really got to be giving customer care and following up with your past clients more than you ever needed to right now.
So Chase, how many people well, first of all, let's back up a little bit. Your dad has been in this business for a few years, but it hasn't been his whole life.
Right. So
when did he start?
That was probably 20 years ago. Before that, his prior life, he was a CPA and consultant. He ran big 8 accounting firms. He came off Wall Street. So he kind of runs a different pace, and our team is structured quite a bit differently than a typical office or typical brokerage. But that's kind of the level we run at and the pace we maintain. So from there, started this real estate business here. Things just got kind of too shady for him in the corporate world. I mean, people were asking him to forge documents for millions of dollars, and he said, "I'm out. I'm done. I'm not doing anything with you guys anymore." And that's when we started this. And he has been, from the day before he had his license, he had his first assistant, and he was Mike Ferry coached before he had his license. He heard who the best in the business were. They knew they're all Mike Ferry agents. So before he even had his license, he had an assistant, and he was Mike Ferry because he knew that Mike Ferry and the Mike Ferry organization was the one that's going to get him to the level he wants to run at.
Got it. And he started with no past client in Sphere. I think he actually changed cities, right?
No, it's always been here in St. George, Utah. And yeah, he of course started with no Sphere because he moved to St. George, then started real estate. And his first year being here, his first year in real estate, he closed, I think, 80 listings by himself. First year in the business, so it is possible. He knew that he could not fail. There was only one route to go, and that was the route of success. And Mike Ferry led him in that direction. So he gave it his all. And I think a big thing that a lot of issues that some realtors and agents have is they tell themselves, "I'm going to get there eventually," or "in time I'm going to get there," or oh, I'm slowly learning and I'm on a good pace right now. And I was the same way too. And I kept saying, I can't wait to be one of those people on stage. I can't be one of the high producers. And then one day I said, you know what? I am growing okay, but I'm going to be that person now. Starting today, I am going to be a high producer. And that year moving forward, I think it was even my second year in the business. I took about 60 listings, I think. And then it's been going up since then too. So everybody listening in, if it's your first year or your 10th year, tell yourself that you can grow quicker than you think you really can, or than you really are. And there's always more to improve. And that it doesn't take 10 years to get to where you want to be. Start being that person today, and you will not believe how fast you'll get to where you want to be.
Well, that's really well said. Thank you. I appreciate that. So we should move along a little faster, right?
Yes.
Because there is an expiration on something going on in our world, right?
Right. Absolutely.
Yeah, got it. Okay, that's
You're,
great.
You'll lose a lot of dollars by not doing it now.
So let me ask you something. I mean, your dad was running this business. You've been in the business how long?
5 years now, 6 years.
Okay. So your dad was running the business. You jumped in. He was doing all the listings at the time. Then he taught you to be a listing agent. But what was the transition? Or did he, throw you out with buyers? How did it start?
I worked with a couple buyers that were friends of mine, but I've been a listing agent from day one.
Okay.
It was a bit of baptism by fire. I mean, a couple months into business is when he took a 38-foot fall while we were canyoneering. He fell 38 feet onto rock, and it was in the hospital for over a month. He was actually prospecting from his hospital bed, because that's just his personality. So at that point, it was kind of baptism by fire, where I had to go produce, and I had to go, at the time, provide for my parents, because he was obviously in a situation where he couldn't do it. So it was getting things started really early on, and forced myself to go do listings from the beginning. And that's all I've ever been. Before that, I was looking at a medical career, and I didn't love it. I took a business 1010 or an accounting 1010 class and fell in love with the aspect of business a lot more than medicine. And it's kind of stuck ever since. And he said, if you're not going to be a doctor, which he actually was encouraging me to be a doctor, he says, if you're not, you're doing this one way only. You're doing it my way and no other way. And that is, you're getting your accounting degree. You're going to know how to run and operate a business and do accounting. So I've never been an accountant, but I have my accounting degree for running the team and running the business.
That's great. So you had a good mentor and leader in that.
Yeah.
Good for you. My suspicion, though, is that he's kind of hard driving. He didn't hand you anything. You worked for it. Now, am I accurate, or did he kind of carry you along?
I mean, I got a couple hand-me-outs, but not much, not any more than these guys. So up until, 6 months ago, it was everything I was getting was production for myself and my own personal production. I mean, I wasn't even getting his leads, anything from his sphere. I mean, I had to scrap for myself up until just a few months ago, really. But at this point, I'm kind of running and operating the team more so on myself, and my personal production has slacked a little bit, but it's still a listing focused background for myself, and that is the only way we can operate and do the business that we do, is by having a real estate listing centric background. Without that, you cannot operate. You can't have a buyer's agent team. You can't do anything unless you are listing oriented.
Right, and you need to have listings to be able to give leads to buyer's agents if you're going to have buyer's agents, right?
Absolutely.
Got it.
Absolutely.
Okay, so let's talk about your business, your work. 2 years ago, your dad fell in that accident, correct?
Right.
Yeah. So your business come from past. When you weren't working his leads, you were just working for sale by owners, expired.
Oh, yeah.
Go ahead.
Up until 6 months ago, when he started to take his foot off the gas, I wasn't getting any of that. So I still do FISBOs. I still call expires. That's the first thing I do every morning. I still role play most every morning with my role play partners, have an accountability partner. So none of that's changed. I don't do quite the amount of prospects or prospecting and follow up that I did prior, because I'm focused on maintaining the team too. But yes, up until just recently, it's been 100% myself, of me having scrap every day, just sold, door knocking. We actually have a Segway that we do a lot of door knocking on, and that's a great way.
Wait, tell us about that.
Oh yes, oh yes. You might be able to see it over there. So I actually got that from the Lairs in California, and what we figured out was when everybody was getting home in the afternoons with their kids, and I'd actually focus on new communities, new areas where I knew it was kind of kid oriented, family friendly oriented. When I started calling through those subdivisions at night, I wasn't getting the answers, even though I knew for sure they were home. And I would start door knocking, had a lot better results. And then I realized in most of those subdivisions, I could get door to door a lot quicker in a Segway. So that's exactly what we did. We got a Segway, and I started taking a lot of listings really quickly. And if I'd go in the right times of day when I knew people were home, the kids were home, I was actually getting 20 contacts per hour face to face on the Segway. It's fantastic.
Really?
Really.
So do you give Segway lessons? Tess, what do you think? Segway?
We can do it.
Very good idea.
It's awesome.
I think we're gonna get a fleet of Segways, and I love this idea.
The
Okay.
Schwartz Segways.
I love this. All right. Fantastic. Thank you. Any other good ideas like that, Chase?
Oh man. Keep closing. And that's not much of an idea, but keep closing. Don't take no as a first response. Keep going.
So let's talk about that for a second. I mean, what do you mean? I mean, you got to know what to say and how to say it. So what did you do to teach yourself that? I mean, you have a medical background. Up until 5-6 years ago, you were thinking about going that direction, correct?
Right.
They don't talk closing in med school.
They don't. They certainly don't. And they don't talk it about.
Sorry, you broke up.
They don't teach you how to close in real estate school either. That's something you got to go learn on your own, and that's why I want to be with Mike Ferry and Neil Schwartz, because real estate school doesn't teach you how to close.
Got it. So, how did you learn it? What was the technique? What were the scripts? I mean, I'm sure you created your own scripts. You didn't use the Mike Ferry stuff, right?
It was all Mike Ferry. I mean, that's all I had to go on for a long time before I knew anything else. Was all I had is a piece of paper in front of me. That was a Mike Ferry script, and that's what I made work. And, of course, everybody does a little bit of tweaks here and there and adds a little something in, even though oftentimes we shouldn't. But I stick with the scripts. Something that's been actually really refreshing lately is I started to get almost a bit complacent with my appointments, where I'm thinking, or my leads, my contacts, I'm thinking I either want a yes quickly or I'm on to the next one. I mean, give me somebody who says yes. And we actually just hired our first listing agent for about the first time ever. He's really quite inexperienced. He doesn't really know what to say all that much, but he just keeps freaking closing. I mean, he won't take no for an answer. He really doesn't know what he's saying. He just keeps throwing out appointment times, keeps saying, let me come by today and show you. I'm coming by today at 5. He just keeps going. I mean, horrible closes, but they're closes. They keep coming, and he is walking circles around me right now for the amount of appointments he's setting. I'm going, oh my gosh, I forgot how important it was to not take no for an answer and just keep going, because he really doesn't know that much, but all he worries about is keep closing and not getting off the phone until he has an appointment set. And he is genuinely setting more appointments than I am the last 30 days. And it's really cool. So even all you new agents out there too, take this as a bit of saying, you don't have to know exactly what to say. You'll get better and better in time, but take this other piece of advice in the meantime, just keep closing and do not get off the phone until you have an appointment. What I did for myself early on was I get a stack of pennies and quarters, and I would put a penny in for 5 times. I had to close 5 times. At the end, for my 6th close, I had a quarter, and I had to put that in, and I had to move every coin before I got off a conversation with the prospect.
So and you set up a kind of a game with yourself doing that.
Yep.
A game of
6 times before.
So do you have to be an accountant to gamify stuff?
No, you really don't. Just keep closing whatever you want to. I've seen people with marbles. They want to move marbles back and forth. I mean, whatever it is, you have to close at least 5 times because I think 85% of the appointments come from your close 5 and beyond. I mean, it doesn't come the first couple, and I've forgotten of that. I've become complacent of that the last little while, and it was really refreshing to have this new agent come on our team and showing me what to do again.
Well, that's great. So essentially what you're saying is just keep closing and that's it.
Yep.
Okay, good
You'll
stuff.
get better. Your closes will get better, but in the meantime, just keep giving them closings.
So you're working with a new person. You
Mhm.
put them out making some phone calls.
Mhm.
Tell me what you're doing there. I mean, what you're doing there is what a new agent could do over here, correct?
Sure. Yeah.
Okay, can you walk me through what you're having them do? Do you mind?
So every morning by 8 a.m. at the latest, we're calling every FSBO ever expired, and every morning we really are calling before 8 o'clock. And he's just discovered now circle prospecting in person because his favorite instance, and he's been with us now 6 weeks. I mean, he's new. There was a deal that one of our buyers agents were putting together or trying to get. He went with them just to get a bit more experience of what's going on. And he said there were, I think, 40 cars out front of this home. And I'm sure that's pretty common with a lot of other places, a lot of other marketplaces, and neighbors were standing out in front of their homes looking around at what was going on is because this home had just hit market. So while he was there with one of our buyers agents kind of learning from them, he started walking around and started talking to all the neighbors. And mind you, he's been with us for 6 weeks now. And before that, for years prior, he's closed, I think, 4 deals ever. He took 2 listings from that neighborhood by talking to the neighbors that were standing outside. There were 40 agents and probably, 80 buyers trying to get inside this house, and everybody's sitting outside. The agents aren't doing anything. They're waiting their turn to get inside the home with the buyer, and he's walking around talking to all the neighbors. And he took 2 listings while 40 other agents are just trying to get inside to see that home.
Wow. There's idea number 2, everybody. We got a segue, and then we're going to go to wherever the open house is because the neighbors are looking.
That's right. In St. George, there's not many open houses. I know it works wonders in Southern California. Here, it's kind of a waste of time. It's usually looky-loos and the neighbors poking their heads in. And you're in Southern California, right?
Correct.
Yeah. And open houses, they work relatively well there, don't they?
Well, we really can't technically do open houses.
No.
Okay, but the idea here is if I know a new listing, like you're talking about, is coming on the market and you've got 20 people lined up to see it for the next hour, you're gonna have people on the street out looking.
Yep.
What's the big deal? And there's the opportunity.
Absolutely.
There is the opportunity. All right. Because you could just do that all day long. Go from one house area to the next.
Right.
Great idea. Thank you. That's 2. All right. Let's go for a trifecta. What do you got? What do you got up your sleeve now? You didn't even know you had all these great ideas, huh?
I didn't even know to prepare for them. Let's see. What else do we love? I'll go over my favorite objection handler with you. Is that something you want to go over?
Yeah, it's one of the things we talked about. Absolutely.
Okay. So really common one we get is we want to list with a discount agent. And there really is one pronounced discount agent, especially in our marketplace. So this is my objection handler for hearing that they want to go with a discount agent. So can I explain what makes others nervous about using a discount agent?
Sure.
Our clients' homes sell for an average of $42,000. Excuse me. Their clients' homes sell for an average of $42,000 less than our clients. Are they offering you a $42,000 discount?
No, of course not.
I'll see you at 5.
Good job. So how do you calculate? Doesn't matter.
Say no. Say no. I'm not letting you come over yet.
Okay.
Come on.
Now you know what? Now I've already got my appointment set.
You have your appointment. Okay. Do you know why discount agents sell so many homes? All the buyers agents know if they bring their clients to a home listed with a discount agent, they'll be able to offer a lot less than what it's listed for and get a deal. You don't want a buyer getting a deal on your home though, right?
No.
Of course. So if you list with a discount agent, buyers agents know So buyers agents will tell their clients to expect a discounted price because they know you're saving commission, and the discount listing agents just want a quick commission check and will flop when it comes to negotiating you the highest price. So are you more concerned about getting a discount or netting the most at closing?
No, I want to net the most.
I'll see you at 5.
Very good. I like
Oh.
that.
One more. Give me one more.
Go.
The #1 discount agent in town offers a 2% discount, but on average, his clients' homes sell for 4% less than our clients. So how much is he actually costing you?
What?
2%.
2%. Right.
So what's 2% of your home's value?
It's 500,000, so it's 10 grand.
$10,000, right?
Right.
Are you okay with him actually costing you $10,000 net less than what we can get you?
No, I'm not okay with that.
I'll see you at 5.
Got it. Got it. So there's two things going on here that I sense is number one, you're just getting in their face with stuff like this and very, very confident. But number two, most importantly, it goes back to what you were referring to with your, what's the new listing agent's name? Gil. So it's kind of what Gil's doing to you. He's just not taking no for an answer.
Right.
His job is to get on the appointment. And that's kind of how my sense is how you're making me feel. You want
Right.
that appointment. You want to show up. I'm coming over. I'm on my way.
Yep. And that a lot of people, I think in every marketplace, there's discount agents. There's more and more of them in our area right now, given that listings do sell so quickly. So you might not want to stick so hardly as I do on one agent, because I know this agent really is talking to every FSBO in the area or anybody in general, but this still applies to everybody else. I mean, there are those discount agents out there. You can still use this for everybody.
Got it. Got it. Absolutely. Good. Okay. You open to some questions?
Absolutely. Ask away.
Before I do that, I'll open to the group. What kind of books are you reading? I mean, I know that you have your dad, which is a very strong mindset. Of course, Mike Ferry. But what do you chase? What do you pour into yourself? What do you look for?
My 3 all-time favorite books are Think and Grow Rich, Never Split the Difference, and Rich Dad, Poor Dad.
Okay, good.
I'll kind of roll those 3, grab another one every once in a while. Right now, my accountability partner just got me on Mastering the Rockefeller Habits. I actually just started that one yesterday, so I'm not too far in it yet. So far, it's great. But my all-time favorite, undoubtedly, is Never Split the Difference. I think that's a great one. At any level, wherever you are in your real estate career, everybody can benefit from that.
Yeah, that's a great book. Absolutely. All right, so let's open this up to the group right now. Chase, let me get up here. Go here. Go here. All right. So go ahead, Michael.
No, I just want to know if you can explain what that save weight appointments or whatever you said. I couldn't understand what was the process on there. We're talking about the save weight, something I couldn't understand.
So I'll take a segue and actually ride it through neighborhoods, and I'll lean up against the doorstep or against the step going up to the doors themselves, whatever it may be. And I'm doing that with either just listed, just sold, door knocking. I'm doing it because we sold a neighbor's home down the street a while ago. We're doing it because we have a buyer who wants to be in that subdivision. I mean, it doesn't have to be just listed or just so called. There are a lot of different ways you can go talk to neighbors right now. And with a segue, you can cover ground a lot quicker than you can walking. And it actually, I think it simply had better results with people seeing me on it. I mean, it makes everybody smile as soon as they see you. It automatically puts them in a state of not defense, but I mean, like, what are you doing here? Who are you? They're smiling, and they think it's almost kind of funny. So it's helped a lot in a lot of different ways, and they're cheap. You go get the big heavy ones there, I think $5,000. This one we have, it's like 25 pounds, and I think it costs $600. And it's called 9-Bot by Segway. $600.
Wow, great idea. Rosa, did you have your hand up? No, okay. All right, other questions for Chase? Other questions? Good question, Michael, thank you. Other questions? Let me open this up here. So sorry, I didn't ask you, Chase, how many people in your past client sphere base?
My personal, I'm probably about 400 now, and probably close to 300. And our entire team sphere is about 4,000.
And how often do you touch base with your past client and sphere?
Being completely honest, not enough. That's something we've been getting into more and more, and we're right about that quarter mark now. But up until somewhat recently, I mean, being honest, we were hitting them once a year, and that was not enough. And of our 450 deals we did, even with us calling them once a year, that's where the majority of our business came, was from our sphere. And I'm a hunter and a killer. I don't like doing the past client calls because I want to go hunt and kill the next one. But everybody needs to understand and know their sphere and their database, their past clients are the most important thing you can be working, especially in this market right now. You've got to be working them. If you're afraid and scared to do it, just start. You won't believe how happy they are, how happy they're going to be just to talk to you. Come from a place.
Got it. Chase, did you, when this time last year, when we went into COVID lockdown, I'm not sure, I don't think Utah went quite as locked down as California did, but did business change for you at all?
It did, definitely. I think March of last year was the best month I ever had for listings taken. I think I took 18 in March. Not a whole lot of properties were selling. We probably had 25% of our contracts fall apart. Buyers getting nervous, not knowing what's going to happen. Come the 1st of May, properties started flying. I mean, we had a 3-month kind of nervous window. After that, buyers started coming in, offers started coming in, and then everybody knows what's happened since then. It's just a war out there now. But we didn't let it affect us. I think the reason why I had my best month ever in March was most other agents were thinking it was end of the world. They were telling themselves nothing was going to sell. And I guess to their point, I didn't sell a whole lot in March, but I built my inventory huge in March because I knew it wasn't going to last that long. So I took so many listings, every contract I sent out, every appointment I set, everybody I shook hands with, I got their listing because no other agents were talking to them because they were all scared at home saying, there's no need to even go to work today. There was a lot of need to go to work that day. And then come 2 or 3 months later, when the market went back to normal, everything I built up during the COVID pandemic, when everybody was really nervous and still staying in their home, everything sold 4 months later. And I made a couple $100,000 in a very short window because other agents a few months prior were sitting on their asses at home. So talk to people. Don't be afraid to talk to people. If you are nervous about what's going on, find ways to make it work. I mean, you have the virtual appointments. There's a lot of ways you can make this thing work without putting you or clients at risk. Don't let it be an excuse.
Chase.
Yeah.
Nice. Go ahead, Michael.
Go ahead. Yeah, no, the question, when you are prospecting and you have that objection on discount brokers, I'm sure you're using that 42% based on something that you already researched for the top discount brokers, right? You don't know specifically if the person say the name of an agent, right? How did you come up with the 40%?
Right. I'll reference the number one discount agent. The majority of the time they're actually talking about this one agent, and they are a pretty good agent, being honest with you guys. So I've got that figured out for the number one discount agent, but it still applies. If they're talking about anybody else besides them, I will always reference the number one discount agent so that whoever else I'm talking to, if it's less than that, they're still not going to have even the subpar results that the number one discount agent are going to have. So the way I found that out, that $42,000 difference, was I just went to the MLS, saw, and from their report saw what my average sales price is for clients and what his average sales price is for clients, and it was a $42,000 difference. And then when it came to list price to sales price ratio, that's when I got the 4% less than ours. And I mean, I am analytical by nature, but I really don't use that script on the analytical side. It works for everybody because nobody wants to leave $42,000 on the table and nobody wants to get 2% less. That's just something that works for everybody. But to answer your question, find out who the number one discount agent is in your area, or the guy you hear most often. Check your sales price to his and check their list price to sales price ratio compared to yours.
Thank you.
Hope that helps.
All right. Thank you. Thank you, Michael. Good. Abigail?
I just want to know how long on average does it take your group or you to convert from converting a lead or from from having a lead and then converting it into an actual listing or taking the listing? Does it take
Okay.
you 1 month, 2 months, 3 months? How long?
The vast majority of mine are coming within a week, and I'd say 95% of my appointments came from no more than 3 conversations with them from the first initial contact. Most everything came from the first contact. Most everything else came within the second or third after that, and this many of my appointments came from long-term follow-up. So that's when I finally started saying, you know what, I think Mike Ferry is right about this. This is 3-2-1. Or his 3-3-3 rule, 3 contacts, 3 conversations, whatever the other 3 is.
3 rings.
That's it. So I said, no, there's more to it than that. I can get more people. I can convert more. And once I finally realized I wasn't hardly setting appointments after my 5th conversation with somebody, and I focus on that 3-3-3 and getting the next contact, that's when my production really shot up.
And
So,
how long does it take?
time.
How long does it take? Will it take you from the 2 to 3 3 times you touch base with them? Does it take you like 1 month? Usually 2 months?
Less than a week.
Less than a week.
Less than a week. Most all of my production will really come from 1 day to maybe a couple days. But most everything's from my first conversation. I set the appointment. I meet them either that day, maybe the day after, and I get them listed right away. I'm pretty bad at, once I start to get things drawn out, I don't know if it's the bad quality of the lead or if I just suck at converting long-term nurture follow-ups into real deals, but everything I get is coming from a very short time frame, less than a week to answer your question. Definitely less than a week.
Okay, good. Good question, Abigail. Thank you. Thank
Neil,
you, James.
it's Shasha.
Go ahead, Shasha. You're muted, Shasha. You're muted.
There
Sorry.
you go.
Are those mostly for sale by owner too?
Most of them are, at this point, it really is circle prospecting and calling just listed, just sold, and neighborhood calls. That's where the majority of our listings are coming from right now. I'm still getting a pretty decent amount for sale by owners. I took one this week, but we have probably 2, maybe 3 expireds a week right now, and we're usually having at least a couple FSBOs a day. So FSBOs are huge, especially right now, and they are still convertible, I promise. But I'd say the most important thing we're seeing prospecting wise right now is circle prospecting, calling around neighborhoods, calling around subdivisions. That's where there's so much opportunity available and listings to be had.
So when people say not ready until 6 months to a year, then you put them in a different database to follow up?
I'll close as much as I can. I'll say what's important about 6 months to a year from now. Would it pose a problem for you if we had your home sold sooner? Can you see yourself being in, you gotta have their motivation. Do you see yourself being in X sooner than 6 months? So I'll close as many times as I can early on. And then if I can't get them, I will put them in long-term follow-up. But even then, my long-term follow-up, it sucks. Or come 6 months from now, they'll say, oh, I need 6 more months. I call them in 6 months again. Oh, we need 6 more months. I mean, those are the people that just don't seem to move. So if it's that long-term follow-up, yeah, I'll give them a little bit of attention, but nowhere near the ones that need to move sooner than later. Motivation is always key. Even in this market, you've got to have somebody with motivation.
Got it.
Great.
All right, good. Thanks, Shasha. Good job.
I have a question for Chase. Okay,
Tess, go
so-
ahead.
Yes, it seemed to me that you are really more of a hunter every day, right? I mean,
Yeah.
you start early. So how many people are in the team?
We have 15
Okay.
agents.
50 agents? Are
15.
they all 15? 1 5, right? Are
Right.
they all in your umbrella, meaning that you're in the group, or how does that work? When you
Yep.
mean team,
So they're all
Okay.
they're all Ames team agents. Let me see if I can show you guys here. So this is our call center back behind us. So this is for Ames team only. This is not even for Remax. This is just for the Ames team agents. So this is where we make everything happen. This is where we're working our sphere, our database, calling just listed, just solds around our listings, things like that. Now we have, I think, 13 buyers agents right now. And then myself and John and Gil are our listing agents. But this is for Ames team members only. And this is where we make it all work.
Okay, so basically, when you have a team like this, it seemed to me that, obviously there's like a split, right, on your end so far. So how is your split on your team, if you don't mind me telling that?
I'm going to keep that one quiet for now. But we do.
The split, your split.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
We'll keep this kind of quiet. So we're actually not a brokerage. We are under the Remax umbrella, and the Ames team, we're just truly a team within Remax. So myself and John, we don't have our broker license. But as far as splits go within the Ames team, we like to keep that to ourselves. But no, we provide a lot of insight to them. We create a ton of value. We provide a lot of leads for them. Every morning, we're going through objection handlers and role play and a quick team meeting every morning. So everybody's really involved in growing each other. We're not just a sit down and wait type of agency. I mean, everybody is scripted. They're all Mike Ferry trained, even the buyer's agents. And we are a phone-centric outbound calling center. That's how we make things work. You've got to talk to people.
Got it.
Wow.
But sorry to not
Thank
answer
you.
splits.
Yeah.
No, that's okay. That's fine. Chase, understand. Good stuff. All right. Other questions for Chase? Go ahead, Albert.
Chase, thank you for sharing your knowledge. And I have a question regarding what can you get from the first conversation that will lead you to call them on the for a second time or third time? Because normally my experience that they're hesitant. Obviously, they don't know you that much, so I know it's asking questions. But is there one specific thing that you look for that will lead you to call them the following time, the second, third time? And if so, how would you follow up with that? What would be your script on the follow-up?
I'll tell you, I guess, what not to do, because my lead follow-up, it has not been good enough.
Okay.
I'm not where the issue is. I'll tell you where my issue has been. It's if I got hung up on something, meaning they said, oh, we got to wait until X, meaning I have to wait until we finish paying the house, or I have to wait for rates to change, something like that. I get hung up on that, where I call them the next time saying, hey, did you get this fixed yet? Or I got to give you a better example. Did you get that piece of your house remodeled yet? Did you fix that counter? And they said, no, we got to wait, got to get that done. And I'll do whatever I can to try and get past that. But I keep getting hung up on that because it seems like they are getting hung up on it. So try not to even mention that. I'd say if it's something that's so minor, and that this is what I'm doing now, is not bringing up those items. I really come more so from the Mike Ferry script of the follow-up script of you still need to buy or sell a home. Can we set an appointment this week? And not talking about the one little hang up that was preventing them from being able to move. Because I feel like if you ask that question and they say, no, it's not fixed yet, then they almost say, oh, well, we can't move forward then. So focus on what you need to say and do and the items that keep them moving, and not being stuck on the items that are preventing them from moving forward.
Okay.
That's
All
probably
right.
not the answer, but that's about myself.
No, I appreciate it. Thank you so much.
All
Hey,
right.
Chase, I got a question.
Anything you can do for motivation, though, because again, it always comes down to motivation. So I will always do whatever I can to find out motivation. If it's a FSBO, I say, with such a great home, why do you want to sell it? It almost puts them in a defensive mode and has them sells themselves to me. It sells me on their home because they want their home to sound so awesome to me. And then they will just word vomit of what all their motivation is. And if it's saying it expired, saying, well, great, well, such a great home, why did you want to sell it? And or how soon do you want to be somewhere else? Find out what that motivation is, because it always comes back down to motivation.
That is a great point. I appreciate it.
You're welcome.
Chase,
Go ahead.
this is Michael. Yeah.
Go ahead.
I got a question for you, Chase. I know this intensity and all the results you get in your team and your group. My question is, how you see it's important that every morning you said 7 o'clock, the whole group get together and prospect together and the intensity is there. what would you recommend if instead of doing that, everybody's working from home? Is that the same intensity in your group and your team?
No, not for us. There are still a few of our agents here that their family's susceptible, they're at health risk and things like that, and they stay home, or they'll come in for just a few minutes for a morning huddle, and they'll wear masks, and we're absolutely respectful of that. But for everybody that's not susceptible and I guess overly susceptible, it is so much better off being in the atmosphere. We want to be together. Virtual is okay, but we want to do as much as possible to be in person, because otherwise the energy and enthusiasm just isn't there. And if you can't be, it means have your role play partners, have your accountability partner. Everybody needs to have an accountability partner if you don't have one already. That's something you can do with or without coming to the office every day. That's something you guys can all improve on. And in the mornings too is something I really did to have me improve quicker. And this is coming back to when I was saying, I can't wait till I get better, and I can't wait to be one of the superstars. I started role playing with myself. I started being in front of the mirror. I started going over scripts every day, reading it before anybody else got here. I started doing articulations in the morning, which I felt like a dork for the first while. And then it made the biggest difference, because if my first conversation of the day wasn't expired, I usually blew it because I wasn't warmed up enough. So I started coming in half an hour early going, ma, 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 pa, 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 ga, 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 just being a dork, but warming myself up has worked. So I don't care what anybody thinks about me now, because I'm making way more money by practicing in the morning, by getting myself excited, by going over some of the Mike Ferry event notes from 2 years prior. That's what I'll do for 30 minutes in the morning before I hop on the phones. And that was probably the single biggest difference of anything I did to make myself more productive, was coming in a half an hour early before anybody else was here and just doing stuff by myself, of reading the scripts, getting all excited. That made the biggest difference of it all. But it is important to be around others with that same mindset, preferably in person, because the energy is a lot higher with others.
All right, good stuff. Good question, Michael. Thank you. So Chase, there was in the chat box, do you have a personal assistant or an admin person that sets up the call lists for you in the morning or the night before?
For call lists, I don't. I will do that on my own. I mean, there's really only a couple physicals expired a day, if that. After that, it's talking to the team, seeing where they need a buyer more so, and then that's where we'll do a neighborhood call or a neighborhood door knock. Or if we had a lot of traction on one of our listings, we'll go to that neighborhood, do the call through or the door knock. We'll go in that regards. I do have an assistant, actually a couple assistants that handle our listing packages. They handle a good portion of my negotiations. I'm trying to get them to get to the point where they handle negotiations for me completely. I do very little now with the agents. It's more so just speaking with the client directly now. I did have a driver for a while. I think when I was 24 or 25 with my Porsche, I actually had a driver take me everywhere I needed to go so I could spend more time on the phones. And in our little town, I think it had more negative effect than it had good effect, because they saw a 24 or 25-year-old driving a Porsche with a driver. And I said, yeah, it's a benefit for you guys. I spend more time negotiating prices for you and spend more time on the phones with my clients. It's still kind of went the other route. I think anywhere outside of our little town, it would have been a good idea, but here it didn't work.
Okay, appreciate that. Yvonne asked, what's the name of that book that you said every realtor should read?
My all-time go favorite is Never Split the Difference by Chris Vaughn.
Yeah, great, good. All right, other questions? Other questions for Chase?
Neil, I'm not sure if he answered this question, but how many hours do the other agents prospect? I just wanted to know, like, for example, when they sit down, is it 4 hours, 3 hours in the morning, or is it, you haven't booked an appointment, so therefore you have to stay all day?
We try not to get to that point. What we do require, though, every day is a minimum of 3 hours spent in our call center. And we do ask for and expect a minimum of 25 contacts a day. A lot of them don't hit that, and it is really easy to tell the ones that aren't putting in the time because their results show very quickly. But we ask for and expect a minimum of 3 hours a day in a call center. And something you guys can all keep in mind too, your 9 to 5 is what you do to pay for your salary. Anything beyond that is where you start making your millions.
Chase, let me ask you a question. You're managing a team, you have high expectations. Some people do it and some people don't, right?
Sure.
Okay. The people that aren't doing it are not making money, right?
Right. Yeah.
And the people that do it are making money.
Oh yeah.
Okay, so why do you think the people that aren't doing it aren't doing it? And are they independently wealthy?
No, they're complacency. I think complacency is killer for a lot of people. They're happy making their $50,000-$60,000 a year, even 100. I mean, I remember when I was young, not even young, I'm talking 4 years
Yeah,
ago.
like you're that old.
I think when I say young, I feel like I
When
have
I
such
was young.
a young mindset.
Uh,
I guess I meant mindset. I'm thinking, I can't even imagine making $100,000 a year. Like, what would I do making $100,000 a year? And at this point, if I'm not over $100,000 by end of Q1, I'm going, this isn't enough. This isn't good enough. I need to improve. I need to keep going, and avoid complacency. Have accountability partners. Don't live outside of your means, but spoil yourself. It is absolutely okay to have a big, great, incredible, fantastic life. Just work for it. Don't feel bad. Don't occasions you want to do. Just work for it and have goals, have visual goals, have your accountability partner doing those things, and you've got to put in the time. It's really work. It's not that hard. You just got to do it.
I love it. Chase, this has been fantastic. Everybody unmute yourselves, please. Unmute yourselves. All right, thank you. Woo! Good job, good job, good job. Chase, that was fantastic. And
Thank you.
I know you've got a couple
Thank you,
things to do.
Chase. Thank you.
You're
What we
welcome. Thanks
do
for
right
having me.
now is, so we're gonna post your information in the chat box. So if anybody's got a referral to St. George, we'll get that done. And I'm gonna go around the room right now. You're welcome to stay if you can, if you have time,
Sure.
kind of listen in. If not, I'm gonna go around the room and kind of figure out what we learned. So it might be interesting. Okay, so Chase, thanks again. Fabulous job. And Miriam or Robert, if you could get that information in the chat box, that'd be helpful. So what did we learn today? What did we learn from Mr. Chase? What did we learn? Robert, go ahead.
Get off your ass and go to work. Is I mean, it's funny, but what Chase does a great job of is he makes it so simple, but if you do the simplicity, but at the commitment level, and the one word I put down here with him is intention. Like, he has the intention of going to work and closing a deal, putting a deal together. It's not just, I'm going to work to do this, I'm going to prospect. Like, he's got massive intention. So it's really simple, but you need his intention, his commitment, and his passion. I mean, the last 45 minutes, if you didn't get that this dude is passionate about going out there and being a great real estate agent, then you just weren't listening. So that's...
You weren't here.
Yeah. So it's simple, but you need that intention, that passion. That's the stuff I got out of it. I thought it was great.
Excellent. Good job. Thanks, Robert. Okay, what else did we get out of Chase today?
Neil, I think I will have to give him credit. I mean, being like a cheerleader for this, a lot of people, I mean, I'm sure there are days where, you could get let down because some of them don't show up or the motivation is not there. I mean, really, I have to say, commend him to have that much people to carry on and lift them up. That must be very tough. I think you stand in that position too, Neil, and every day you just have to, I mean, every day is not a perfect day,
You need to be 7'6".
Yeah. So I'm sure there are days when you're down and you just have to fake it till you make it. I think that's
100%, Tess. 100%. Absolutely. Good job. All right. What else did we learn today? Come on.
I think he said,
Yvonne, go ahead.
Okay. Thank you very much, Chess. I love your passion and your intensity. And I just reinforced what we learned before from all the great producers. 9 to 5, you make a living. Beyond that, you make $1 million. I think that's very important. You know, we put in enough time, 8 hours, that's just make a living. But anything beyond 8 hours, that's going to make us a fortune.
Great, good. Thank you, Yvonne.
Thank you very
Good.
much. Yeah.
All right, what else did we learn today?
I think he said something about, he gets up early, he's there, the first one in the office, just to have that time to get motivated and do, go over the notes, Mike Ferry's notes and whatever he learned and, self-motivation, right? You have to be self-motivated and that helps him when nobody's around you or talking to you or distracting you. And I think, he's right. I think that helps a lot. And so I like that fact that he mentioned that.
Good, okay, Sonia, thank you. Abigail?
I like the fact that he does the articulations in the morning, because I've noticed that whenever I wake up and I'm, I went over the script, but the first time that I go over the script is like, well, what did I just say? So that's it's very crucial in the morning.
Absolutely, good job. Well, a lot of you, good number of you on this call show up for role play from 8 to 8:30 and from 8:30 to 9. But it would be okay for you to be here at 7:30. The channel's open, the office is open. You can be here and do stuff. It's okay. Right, Robert? Yes, Robert agrees. Okay, what else do we learn?
I'll say something, Neil.
Please.
Someone at that level, the fact that he's still very open and honest to himself, what he knows, what he needs to work on, and be able to shift from it and try to master the next thing. It seems like he knows that he still needs to work on his follow-up and long-term clients, yet he's still finding a way to make it possible. He doesn't let that hold him back.
That's for sure. I want to give you kind of an understanding of what those 15 people produce. I looked up an office earlier today in the South Bay area. Coincidentally, it I don't know, was it like a KW office? That didn't matter. He did 453 deals with 15 agents, right? That's what he said. His team, this particular office in South Bay had 147 licenses and they did 430 deals. Same period of time. That kind of gives you a perspective of the power of that kind of an organization. And he and his dad, and his dad's really kind of retiring off of this right now. He took 135 listings. They're the generators, okay? And they took 135 listings. Nobody, he just hired a new guy that's gonna take some listings. He's taken 1 or 2, but he's gonna teach him how to do it. But 135 listings is what is the generator. We can do this. And I loved when he started. When he started, he said, and we can do it faster.
I love that.
It can do it faster. We're giving ourselves too much time. We are running out of time. Let's get it done now. I don't know when this market's going to change. I guarantee you it will change, okay? But why don't you go out and get your 20, 30, 40, 80 listings now, and do it. What the heck? They're hard to get?